How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Mullen Automotive, which was down 10% on the day. Remember when we were talking about areas of support? If we break through $1.15, we could have a possible test going to $1.03. Where did we test the low on the day? $1.03. So as far as for tomorrow, I want to make sure you guys are prepared. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Mullen. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $1.08, being down 10% on the day. On the low, it tested $1.03, and then on the high, testing $1.16. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 41.02 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 47.154 million shares. So right away, you can see we did have below average volume on the day, and we've seen a pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 31. And then when we take a look at our moving averages, you can see we're below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So it is trading below all of our major moving averages, and it's clear to see it's in a bear market. And what is very interesting, we ended up testing a low at $1.03. If you guys remember, I was saying if we break through 115, then the next level to keep an eye on is around $1.03 and then $1. We got $1.03, showed some support, and we ended up closing at $1.08. So if you want to see a reversal, you want to see some strength, then we need to see Mullen get at least to the 21-day EMA, which is at $1.56. And upon reclaiming this level, that's where you want to see how well it would do getting to the 50-day, which is around $1.90. If we continue to have weakness in these markets and there's a lot of selling pressure, I can see us testing $1 going into tomorrow, and then the next area where we want to see some support, which I mentioned in the previous video, is around 73 cents. Again, I know many people love this play and they want to load up while the stock is cheap, so taking a look at it at 73 cents might be worth some consideration. But one thing that is clear, it does look bearish. It does signal that it's going to continue to have a downtrend, and until we start curling up on this RSI down below, again, it just looks very weak at the moment. Now let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information from Mullen. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings for May the 9th, we have Pro Equities Inc. and we have 0 here listed. But when we see the recent changes we have Vickerman Investment Advisors, and they reduced their position by 76.77%. So again, we'll have to keep an eye on it, and we'll do another video tomorrow to see if that ends up correcting itself. So now when we take a look at the short interest, the off exchange short volume ratio is at 24.36%, and then for the off exchange short volume, it is just over 7.11 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 2.9 million, updated 27 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 3.89%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 5th, it was at 25.75, and then for the close of the 6th being at 24.36. And then when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 14.95%, Mullen does have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. position.
Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution from Mullen. So we can see on the inflow, it was at 8.78 million. And then on the outflow, it was at 8.94 million. So we had an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large, it was 2.30 million. On the medium, it was 4.88 million. And then on the small, it was 1.60 million. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large, it was 2.07 million. On the medium, it was 5.36 million. And then on the small, it was 1.51 million. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for May the 9th, which is today, we had that inflow of 0.23 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 14.68%. And you know what? This is not too bad for a volatile stock like Mullen. And as far as the selling pressure we've been seeing inside of the markets and knowing that this is a speculative play, I'm not surprised by the price action. So let's go into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Mullen, when it comes to the price action, all right, we ended up testing in the low at $1.03. If we break through this level, we want to see if we could hold $1. If we can't hold $1, then you want to see some support come in around 90 cents. But the key area that you want to watch is around 73 to 74 cents. If we break through this level, you can see Mullen trading in the 50-cent range. So I want to make sure I'm being clear about that. I know many of you might be excited to hear that. I know many of you are actually waiting to load up on this stock when it trades below $1. So again, continue to be patient, do your homework, keep an eye on that price action. As far as for a move to the upside from Mullen, okay, we need to see a move at least to the 50-day moving average, which is right around $1.90. Yes, we're asking for a very big move. This would have to be catalyst driven. We need to have a lot more buying pressure, more volume coming into the stock. We have been seeing the volume dying down, and that's why we're seeing it continuing to pull back. And as far as what the technicals look like, it does signal that this downtrend will continue. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we do see some activity, but nothing to actually write home about. And then taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. But like I said, if we don't have demand coming into the play, it's going to continue to just consolidate and also just continue to be on a downtrend. This is where shorts could take advantage of it. So if you are inside of this play, do your research. Do your homework. And if you have been bag holding this play, you need to figure out how for next time you're not going to make this happen again. Because if you've been watching my videos, you guys should be forewarned about all of this already. I told you where it could potentially go to the downside. So knowing that, you should have some sort of risk management in place, especially if you are a trader. If you're not trying to be loading up on the dips, I'm letting you know right now, you should not be holding on to this play whatsoever. I'm not giving you guys financial advice, but if you're going to be holding on to this play, that means you're an investor and you have high conviction. And if the stock continues to pull back, you're going to continue to buy more. If not, like I said, you need to figure out what are the right habits for you and how you could do things differently so you could be a lot more successful when it comes to your trades. I get some people that come to my videos and start saying, well, you know what? It's because of you that I bought into this stock, why I bought in so high. Number one, I never tell you guys when to buy the stock. Number two, I give you levels to the upside and as well as the downside. I also do let you know about risk management. So if you're down big inside of this play, it is all on you. You need to start taking responsibility, because the moment you start taking responsibility, you're going to be a lot more smarter about the plays that you get into. Because one thing that I do know for a fact, there's no reason to have FOMO. There's no need to rush into the play. There's no need to even follow the crowd, because in the end, you're the one who's putting the money in the market and you're trying to see a return. And the best way to go about doing that is doing some solid research and making sure that you're not just following the crowd. You're thinking for yourself. And that's why I make sure in all of my videos that you have a game plan. If you don't have a game plan, do not push the buy button whatsoever. So if we have a catalyst that ends up coming through for Mullen, let's see if we can make a move to the upside. But at least you guys know, and like I've spoken about in a lot of my previous videos, where the stock can go further if it continues to sell off. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how the stock performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.